Molly and Paula haven't seen each other since the school prom. 10 years later, they ran into each other. She couldn't understand how, from an excellent student and an exemplary girl, she ended up here, sitting in an unfamiliar place and wanting to get drunk. Just recently, she entered a prestigious college. Her family was very proud of her. Sharon studied well, but the freedom and spirit of the community turned her head. It happened only once: party, alcohol, a cute guy, and as a result, pregnancy. Paula smiled and replied that she would gladly do it, but what good is it if she hardly ever uses Instagram? She attended lectures, continued to study well. When the deadline came, Sharon found a free charity hospital in a nearby town and left there to give birth to her child. "You're wrong," Molly urged. "With your beauty, you can gain a lot of subscribers in a short time. You'll become famous, people will recognize you, and that's success." And now Sharon sat in an unfamiliar park in the shade of a large tree and cried. She squeezed a bottle of vodka and hoped the alcohol would help her forget what she had done. Someone was making their way to her from the other side of the alley, through the bushes. A woman sat down next to her. She was dirty and smelled bad. Sharon wanted to leave, but the stranger asked if there was too much alcohol for a mother. Sharon was surprised. She asked why the woman thought that she was a mother. She smiled and pointed her dirty finger at the wet spots on Sharon's chest. "I may be a drunkard who lives on the street, but my eyes are short. These are breast milk stains. I had the same when I left my son. So can you share your vodka and your story?" And Sharon did. She told the stranger everything that she was afraid to tell her parents. The lady did not interrupt or ask questions, but simply listened. Sharon was grateful to her for that. Paula smiled and only nodded. At that moment, a gray-haired man with a tray on which there was coffee and sweets came up to their table. The woman shook her head and said that this happens to everyone. But only fools think that alcohol or drugs can help get rid of the pain. And she thought the same way when she was young, but it wasn't so. Alcohol only makes it worse. You can't live with your life without making mistakes. It's impossible. But you can't go on living without trying to fix them. You've stumbled, but maybe your daughter that you think is a mistake today will be the best gift from heaven for you tomorrow. And you left her alone, and you're sitting here with me and this horrible drink. Sharon flinched as if she had been slapped. She realized how terribly she had behaved. She jumped off the bench and ran to the hospital, where they were looking for her. It all ended well. She took her daughter. Sharon's parents were very indignant, but then they realized that nothing can be changed, and they accepted their daughter and granddaughter. They helped her, and Sharon graduated from college with excellent grades. And then she got a good job. And most importantly, Sharon remembered the woman's wise words for the rest of her life. There is no rose without thorns, just as there is no person without mistakes. And if you make mistakes, then you shouldn't run away from them, but try to fix everything. Share this video and with your shine. It'll help people shine in different ways.
Wedding. Michael and Natalie met in the first year of university. There appeared instant chemistry between them, and they agreed to get married right after graduation. A week after they received their diplomas, they applied for a marriage certificate. Natalie was an orphan. She had no other relatives except for her grandmother. So she just wanted to marry without much ado and start living a family life. But Michael said, "We are getting married once in a lifetime. We must remember this day forever." The young couple prepared for the wedding for a long time and did so tastefully. They were choosing outfits, making up the menu, and looking for beautiful rings. Michael's father was responsible for accommodating guests in their large house, as well as creating and sending invitations to the big day. Natalie, however, had no one to invite except her grandmother, but her health prevented her from visiting the wedding, and all her friends remained in the village that was 2,000 kilometers away from the city. But from Michael's list of guests, it was clear that the celebration could only be held in one of the largest restaurants in the city. "I have lots of friends. Order some extra invitations," the groom instructed his father. "Let everyone come." "Oh, my friends, what a celebration I will throw for you." At the set time on the appointed day, a limousine with the young couple drove up to the wedding palace, near which the guests were going to meet. But no one opened the door of the car for the young couple, because there was no one present except for the impudent crow sitting on the steps of the palace. "What's going on, Dad? Have you sent out the invitations? Where is everybody?" the newly made groom raged. "Yes, I have sent them out to everyone from your list. But in the cards there was not an invitation to your celebration, but a request for help. So don't be upset. Truly speaking, your real friends would now be by your side." Michael first got angry at his dad. He was shouting and saying that his father ruined his wedding day. But then he thought, "Well, Dad is right. A friend is not the one who is ready to share only joy with you. A friend is one who will provide support and assistance in any situation and will never refuse to help you."
Bill and Emily were an ordinary family. They had 3 children, and to feed and provide for everyone, Bill worked hard. Emily worked too, and she also took care of the children and the household. The hard work made Bill and Emily angry and irritable. A long marriage destroyed the romance and tenderness in their relationships. After their friends' recommendations, Bill and Emily consulted a family counselor. The psychologist listened to them and offered to play a game. He said if Bill married Emily, then he liked her. Emily has good qualities that attracted him. Then name 3 positive qualities that you like about Emily. Bill frowned. He lowered his hand. Emily smiled and said that she had to put up with it every day. Then the psychologist turned to her. He asked to set an example for her husband. She needs to name 3 qualities of her husband that she fell in love with him for. Emily opened her mouth but said nothing. She blinked, twisted her head, and also looked down at the floor. The psychologist said he would make it easier for them. He asked to name at least 1 quality. but he didn't receive an answer. The psychologist asked if this silence meant that they no longer had feelings for each other. The psychologist asked Bill to imagine if Emily was gone tomorrow. Is there something he will miss? Or what will he miss? Of course, Bill shuddered. I can't handle 3 kids alone. Only she can control them. She makes the best soups in the world. Only she laughs at my jokes. Only she knows where all the things in the house are. The psychologist smiled and said that Bill had just named 4 good qualities of his wife. Then he asked Emily, what if Bill didn't come home from work? What will she miss? Emily was scared. She said that she couldn't make do without his skillful hands. That Bill is her protector. That she will miss him singing to the guitar. The psychologist smiled and added that they still had a lot of tender feelings. He suggested that they ask each other for forgiveness. The session ended and the doctor spoke. It's easy to lift a bottle of water, but if you lift it for a long time, your hands get tired. And if people hold grudges for a long time, it'll be very harmful to their health. If you agree with the words of the psychologist, then share this video.